Welcome back to the Barrel Zone. Monday morning, we have a little 8 game MLB card. We are going to go through all the games in like 15 to 20 minutes. There are a few matchups that are not that interesting, so we will just focus on the few games where I might have a bet or I already have a bet. And then we will break down my two NBA picks for the day, and we will take a look at all NBA games. So all NBA first games so far, all the series already played one games. I think there are a few interesting things that we can take away from those. All right, so we are starting with the MLB first game on the board: Tampa Bay at Toronto, Yarbrough at Stripling. This is a game I'm skipping. This park in where Toronto is playing is extremely favoring the bettors. There are already about 40% more home runs in this park than any other park in the league, and the run rate is about 38% higher. So balls are just flying out. There is 83 Fahrenheit projected by game time, slight breeze out to left field. Yarbrough and Stripling, both guys are decent, but both are leaning towards the fly ball side of things and giving up higher averages than I would like. And these teams are really similar. I agree with Yarbrough being a road favorite here. I'm telling you that he's the better arm, and that's showing in the line. But I think this is really just a high range of outcomes, very similar arms on the mound, both really just too much fly balls and too small of a park for my liking. Next game is a bit more interesting. Philadelphia at Miami, Eflin at Rogers. These are two pretty good arms facing off in Miami. Philly is a slightly stronger offense against lefties, but they strike out about a 30% clip against the side. So Rogers has a really nice matchup on paper. Marlins with an 84 WRC plus against righties like Eflin, 27% K rate, no power at all. I think both guys will have a nice start here, around similar ratings and stats across the board. Rogers is obviously a bit better, 15% swinging strike rate, only a 69% contact rate. That's pretty nice. But I mean, he's favored at home, but I think the line is really fair. My line is extremely close to this one. Both bullpens are pretty good as well. Good park for pitching. My only issue is that both of these guys are making back-to-back starts against the same team. So Flynn will see Miami the second straight time, and Rogers will see Philly for the second straight time. My only look here would be the under. I really don't like the Philly offense, especially not liking the Miami offense, and I think both of these guys will have a nice game. In the first two games, they combined for 13 innings and just gave up 3 earned runs, so basically nothing. I would need a flat 7 to go under, though, with the rematch aspect of things getting factored in. So if this under 7 gets to a -110, I will be in, but I don't want to lay close to -120 on a 7 here. Colorado at the New York Mets, Gomber at Peterson. This was the game where my line was really off from the market line. I made the Mets way higher favorites on the overnights, but if you really look at their roster right now, it's a mess. So New York is without Alonso, McNeil, Davis, Nimmo, Conforto, and Pillar. And Nimmo and Davis might come back for this series, but it's not seeming likely. So there was some Mets money coming in early here. The Rockies only have 2 road wins in the entire season so far. They have a -47 base runs differential. They are a bit better against lefties, though. Slightly above league average WRC plus against lefties. The Mets are huge positive regression candidates, but they really don't have anyone. I mean, this roster is extremely depleted. Basically the only good bat left is Lindor, and he's having such an off season so far. So yeah, I'm not a fan of tinkering anything with this game. I will wait for the lineups. And if at least like one of Nemo and Davis is back, and we are staying in this minus 130 to 32 range where the line has been popping around, I might bet the Mets, but it's not 100%. This matchup is really not too interesting with this lineup. Peterson is a nice arm, 3.4 Sierra, no walks, 12% swinging strike rate, keeps the ball on the ground, low hard contact. He has been getting unlucky, but he's a talented guy. But Gomber on the other side is not a terrible pitcher either, and I think Gomber has a shot at slowing this depleted Mets team down. So yeah, I'm not running to the window here with the roster issues around the Mets, but this is a game where I'm leaning towards the Mets, and if the lineups are coming out and it's better than expected, then I might have a Mets ticket here. Cleveland and Detroit, Turnbull hosting Henges. Henges is terrible. And the money has been coming in consistently on Detroit. This opened up at minus 108. Detroit home favorite. Now they are over minus 120. Franmil Reyes hit the IL yesterday for the Cleveland, and this depleted offense gets even more depleted. They only have an 83 WRC plus against righties so far, Cleveland. And while they are due for some positive regression, they are hitting balls pretty hard overall. It's just not coming, and I'm still really not like a huge fan of the lineup. And Turnbull, obviously coming off the no-hitter, he has been great through the season, especially recently had multiple interesting outings, and he has been getting more and more confident. We have been backing him, and we had a bet on Detroit in the no-hitter game. 3.7 Sierra, 11% swinging strike rate, 54% ground ball rate, 22% hard contact, 17% infield pop-up rate, which I really like. And his line drive rates are so low. These are really elite stats. 13% line drive rates against righties, insanely good. 18 against lefties, still really good. So yeah, I think they will. The Tigers won't give up, I think, more runs than 2 here. Problem is that offensively, they are the worst offense against lefties in the league. Tigers with a 63 team WRC plus against lefties and a 33% K rate. Their ISO is 0.085, which is insanely bad. Overall, Detroit has been hitting a bit better lately, but not well enough. And this matchup is against the lefty is risky. Although, as I said, Henges is just terrible so far. 6.5 ERA, 2+ WHIP. His walk rate is 12%, only an 8% swinging strike rate, contact rate above 80%. I would be looking at only Detroit here, despite them being weak against lefties. But I would need a better line, probably around minus 110. So if we see any kind of Cleveland money and the slight move back towards the pick'em, I will be on Detroit here. Next game is where I have a bet. The Padres are playing at the Brewers. Blake Snell on the mound against Woodruff. We have bet the Padres here. I think there is still value on San Diego here. In fact, I've seen that Chris has been moving towards the Brewers here a bit. That's kind of awesome. Padres need to be favored here. This is a really easy handicap in my opinion. So first of all, San Diego now mostly healthy. They are the biggest positive regression candidates in the league offensively. They have the third most hard hit balls, 100 miles per hour plus exit velocity. But on these balls, they are 30th in WOBA and 29th in batting average. So they are hitting the ball almost harder than anyone, making solid contact, but they just haven't been getting lucky enough, and that will turn. Also, Snell hasn't been super consistent, but against lefties, he's really strong. And this lineup, obviously, Yelich is the best bet by far in the Milwaukee lineup, but they will have at least 5 lefties in this lineup against Snell. The expected lineup, I'm just checking, it has 5 lefties in it. And Snell has been the single best pitcher in the league against lefties. He allows 1.04 FIP and a 14% hard contact, and he has a 33% K minus walk ratio. He allows a 148 wOBA against lefties. So yeah, I think Snell, while still not consistent enough, this is a really bad offense with tons of lefties in it. I think he will roll, and the Padres should produce. And while I'm not saying anything wrong about Woodruff, but he has been way too lucky so far. He is a great arm, but his Sierra is more than 1.5 runs higher than his actual ERA. He's running a 190 batting average on balls in play, a 7% home run to fly ball ratio, and an 83% left on base rate. I think all of those will regress a bit. So yeah, I'm taking the Padres. I like the matchup for Snell. They are the way better offense, way better bullpen, and Woodruff is due for some regression. So I think you should log this in. Uh, Honestly, anything better than minus 110, I think, is an edge on San Diego here. And this is really a strong look, in my opinion, for today. Baltimore and Minnesota, we will go quickly on the last 3 games. Shoemaker is a guy I'm done with. He has a 6+ ERA in 4 innings so far. Not missing any bats, no K rate, walks a tons of guys. Lefties are really killing him. 7.3 FIP against lefties with a 26% line drive rate. At home, he has a 430 wOBA. It's just really bad. And I'm not. I mean, on the other end, Means is a regression candidate. He's a nice arm, but his Sierra is 2 full runs higher than his ERA. He is running with a 97% left on base rate so far and a 188 batting average on balls in play. Just quick regression will come, and I really like the upside of this Minnesota team. This will be a top offense by the time the season ends. So yeah, Means is a regression candidate. Shoemaker is bad. I don't trust the Baltimore offense. I think Minnesota will hit here. Total is way too high to play an over, but the over would be my only look here. In my opinion, Means will get hit around, and Shoemaker is just so bad that anyone could hit him. But I'm not betting over 9s. I'm telling you that, especially, I mean, this is not a bad park for pitching. So, and Shoemaker could always get his shit together, but I don't think it's likely. And we have 40 inning sample size of him being super bad. White Sox hosting the Cardinals, Lynn hosting Kim. White Sox money coming in. I think they are about almost 20%, 20 cents overpriced here. Lynn has been great so far, but again, his Sierra is more than 2 runs higher than his actual ERA. He's running an 87% left on base rate, 230 wOBA, 7.8% home run to fly ball ratio. He's a great arm. He will likely continue to outpitch his underlying numbers, but I mean, regression will come to him. And regression will also come to the White Sox offense. I have been talking about this a lot. High betting average on balls in play for the White Sox. Everything has been really working out for them. With these current injuries, they aren't a top offense against righties. It's a bit different against lefties, and this is a lefty on the mound with Kim. And that's why money is really coming in on them. But I mean, if you look at how lucky they got with the balls in play, and they are due for some regression. But I mean, against lefties, this is still a strong offense. And Kim, he has been all right. 3.9 Sierra, 11% swinging strike rate, 16% infield pop-up rate. The thing is, I'm not paying an extra to back Lynn, who is a regression candidate, and I'm not paying an extra to back the White Sox, who are also due for some regression. But the Cardinals' offense against righties is well below league average. And Kim is not an arm I would probably want to risk in a difficult matchup. Final game, Seattle-Oakland, Kikuchi-Montas. Kikuchi is a way too good arm to fade, in my opinion, but he's facing an Oakland team that's legit good against lefties. Oakland has a 116 WRC plus against lefties with a 192 ISO. Kikuchi, super strong underlying numbers, but this Seattle team is not one I'm willing to back. They have a minus 38 base runs differential. They are 9-5 in one-run games, extremely lucky, and they are 4-0 in overtime games. Dead last in WOBA, bottom three in ex-WOBA, just an 87 team WRC plus against righties, striking out like crazy. I'm not a huge Oakland guy, but I mean, they are the side here. I make this minus 156, so really close to the market line. I haven't played this game. So summing up the MLB slate, I've played San Diego. I think the Padres are a bet today. I'm really liking everything about this bet. And the three games I'm looking at the under in the Miami Philly game with Rogers and Eflin. The under 7 is now minus 119. That's a bit overpriced, but if this comes down to minus 110, the under 7, I would play that. I will be waiting for the lineups in the Mets game. Mets are currently minus 131 on Pinnacle on the money line against Colorado. Peterson is a great arm. I think he will be fine here. Gomber isn't bad, and this Mets team is extremely depleted. 5-6 top guys are missing from the lineup. There is a shot that we are getting one or two back today, so I will be waiting for that. If it happens and the line stays around minus 130, I'm interested. Cleveland and Detroit. Detroit should be the side here, but I need like a 10-cent move towards Cleveland. So I would need minus 110-ish on Turnbull here. Matchup is great for him. Cleveland is not a scary offense, and Turnbull is really feeling it. So, yeah, these three are the games I'm tracking, but I don't think we will have more wages besides the Padres. I just don't see why money would come in on the over in the Miami game or on Colorado or on Cleveland with Reyes now on the injury list. All right, that's it for MLB. We are talking some NBA. So we have 2 games today, 3 tomorrow. That might not be right. We might have more games tomorrow. This odds screen has been kind of bad for the next. Yeah, we only have 3 games tomorrow. All right, so we will talk about all the matchups first. Looking into the first 2 games of the slate, which are tomorrow. So Milwaukee is hosting Miami in a rematch, 4.5-point favorites. Paul is a road dog, 1.5-point dog right now. In the first matchup, Miami-Milwaukee. So the first game was the first game of the playoffs, and it was extremely ugly and sloppy, especially the first half. Neither team was playing well. Key players were really off, especially for Miami. So basically, what happened that it shouldn't have been really close, but both Duncan Robinson and Dragic played really well for Miami, and they really had multiple shots at winning this game before it went to overtime. And I really thought that this was a game for them to win. I'm not sure there will be shots like this in the remainder of this matchup when both Robinson and Dragic are shooting out of their minds. And but Jimmy and Bam were bad. And the thing is that I'm expecting some adjustments for Game 2. I don't think Miami will be broken with a Game 1 loss, but I think it's a big boost for Milwaukee. They wanted this matchup. They played around with the seeding to get this matchup, and now they got the winning Game 1. But I'm definitely leaning towards Milwaukee. And the first game closed 5.5, and we are now getting a discount on Milwaukee, so the current spread is only 4.5, and I think that's kind of wrong. What I didn't like in the first game was the fact that Miami wasn't attacking the rim again. This was an issue with them for most of the season. So if you don't look at underlying stats that much, I have to tell you that Miami is by far the most efficient offense in the paint. So when Bam is pushing it and it's clicking, they are amazing. But there were multiple occasions in this game where Bam got the ball around the free throw line, and he was looking outside to pass for anyone for a 3-point shot. And while I understand why this has been the game plans, as Milwaukee has one of the worst 3-point defenses in the league, and they are an elite defense in the paint. If you have Bam, you shouldn't do this. I mean, you should really go for it. And I just didn't like this approach, and I'm not sure it will be fixed by game two. I'm expecting adjustments from Spoelstra. But I like Milwaukee. They had the way better free throw rate. They were drawing the free throws. They had the way better offensive rebounding rate. They had the better turnover rate. And overall, they had an off shooting night as well, and that's not really mentioned. And they still came away with the W. So yeah, I'm going with Milwaukee for game two. I don't see why this 1 point discount is warranted. Yes, the game was a bit close, but we've seen other games that were close or even were upset by the dogs in this playoff so far, and we haven't seen a move towards the dog despite that. I really like how Lopez looked in the paint, and they are really just a strong defense overall, and I think Giannis will do whatever he wants, like he did in the first game. I'm expecting positive regression from Bam and Jimmy, but on the other end, I'm pretty sure that Robinson and Dragic won't have such a great game as they had in the first one. So yeah, 4.5 Milwaukee is my play. I think that they are the look today. Portland Denver. This has been a really surprising game for me overall. Portland won this quite easily. And I think we will see kind of more of the same after looking at the game. So Lillard basically like drew three defenders all the time, and the empty three was all there. And everyone is saying now that Melo and Simmons won't shoot this well for the rest of the series, but they will if the same same situation will come up, as they were wide open, like literally wide open. So Lillard did whatever he wanted. And McCollum was beating his defender whenever he wanted. And the thing is that Nurkic was also really good offensively. And let's not forget that through the entire season, Denver is the worst defense in the paint. They allow the highest field goal percentage, and it really looked like that. So yeah, I think this Portland team is really a bubble that will burst eventually. They are playing basically a 7.5 player rotation. So Cantor is playing like a few minutes, but it's just Simmons and Melo from the bench, and I think they will be tired eventually, but not in the first round. And 6.6% turnover rate by Portland. When you don't have to fear for a team creating turnovers, like Denver isn't creating any turnovers, that really puts you in a good spot to shoot. Portland has been shooting 49% from 3-point range. And as I said, they had so many easy open looks. Everything is flowing through Jokic for the Nuggets, and I'm not a huge fan of that. Obviously, what can they do with Murray out? But Murray out is really hurting them. Bench is super weak. I mean, Marcus Howard and Millsap is looking super old. Morris isn't really good. So the thing is that this short rotation is working for Portland so far, and I think it will work for this series. And even if they don't win this game, I think they will. I think they will win this win this series quite easily, like 4-2, 4-1, something like that. I don't think this will like go to 7 games or anything close to that. So yeah, I took Portland. I think there are huge matchup advantages here. This shouldn't be lined like that. I think Portland should be a very slight favorite based on what we've seen, and this already moved. We bet this at +2. So slum early action came in on the Blazers. I agree with that. I think this will get down to 1. While Milwaukee spread should go up to 5 or 5.5 even. I think it should close again at 5.5. That seemed like a fair number to me. So yeah, I'm liking Milwaukee today, and I'm liking Portland today. You can grab a money line with Portland. We grab the +2. All right, we will talk just super briefly about the rest of the matchups as we are already 25 minutes in. So we have Boston and Brooklyn tomorrow, 9.5 point spread. Boston is fouling way too much. I have been repeating this about 1,000 times through my podcast through the season. I think they are giving up like the third most free throws in the league. Brooklyn was 26 of 29 from the 3 point free throw line in this game. That's probably one of the best free throw rates overall. They had a 31 free throw rate, which is 100 percentile according to Cleaning the Glass. Huge Brooklyn rebounding edge, like extremely big. They had the better turnover rate, kept Boston to a 43% effective shooting, and while that will regress positively, I just don't see this series close. Dallas and the LA Clippers. This is an interesting one. I really like the Clippers here, and the market is also loving them. So the first game closed at -6 flat, and now we are seeing 6 that is used, and it's moving towards 6.5. If anything was sticking out for me in game one is that the Clippers are so much better than the Mavs. It's incredible. Mavs have been shooting 61% effective in this game. I don't think we will see that again. Clippers have been with just a terrible overall shooting, 27.5% 3-point shooting from the Clippers in that game. I mean, this is the team that we know is one of the most efficient 3-point shooting teams in the entire history of the NBA. And I mean, I'm not afraid of the Mavs defense or anything. Shots just weren't falling, and the game was still relatively close, and it shouldn't have been. I mean, guys were Morris had such a bad shooting day, and everyone had a bad shooting day. But I mean, Clippers also lost the rebounding battle, the free throw battle. It was really just the first game where they weren't prepared, in my opinion. But I mean, Kawhi was such a different speed. He had such a different speed compared to anyone on the floor. I think Paul George looked pretty decent defensively, but it really just wasn't their night. I think the difference between these two teams is extreme, and the line is moving towards the Clippers even after a 10-point loss. So I think that's pretty telling. So it's Clippers for me, but I don't see any value at that line. Okay, we have another game tomorrow. Lakers at Phoenix. This was the first game I watched today. The energy difference and speed difference was so big that it's extreme. So the Lakers guys, all the players were super slow. Phoenix really came out with a high energy. They had a 38% rebounding rate. The amount of putbacks was extreme. So per 100 possession, the Suns had 26 putback points. It was basically whenever they missed, Aiton got a rebound and he dunked it back. So that the speed difference was extreme. I think Aiton looked really good offensively. Defensively, he gave LeBron a bit of too much space at times, but I mean that's by design. He just wasn't willing to move out from the paint really. I think the size difference will really help the Lakers in the long run if they can get up to speed. Though Anthony Davis really bullied Crowder, and Drummond had a few nice flashes. It was really just a one-man show when he got the ball under the basket. So yeah, I think the Lakers can still win this. They will have to use their size and dominate this team. I mean, the size difference was really big, but it really showed that LA didn't have too many day offs. The playing game was a difficult one for them. They are just coming back from injury, and Phoenix has been healthy all along, and it was really just a game like that. I said it if Phoenix wins a game here early, it will be game one, and it came true. They had like more than a week off, and they are fully healthy and really in playoff shape. So yeah, we will see how this goes. I still say, I said it before, I have Phoenix winning this one. I think it will be close. Lakers might put up even 3 wins, but I'm going with like a 4-2 type of Phoenix victory here. it's really difficult to get your shit together in the middle of the playoffs when you are not fully healthy and not fully conditioned. So there is that. All right, touching on the last two series, of Philly with an easy W. I think the final score was way closer than the game looked overall. Ben Simmons is really defending Beal well, which is really promising for the future of this series. Embiid had an early foul trouble and also an off day. He made like a million free throws, but besides that, I mean, he wasn't really good, and I think that kind of showed in the end. But I will be looking for a discount. There is no line for this second game out there, but first one close, Philly -8. If we are getting like a 7, I will get on that. I think Philly should get the easy W. They had the way better offensive rebounding, free throw rate, turnover rate. They were really good everywhere. Shots weren't really falling, and the early foul trouble was hurting Embiid. But I'm really bullish on Philly here, and not just for this series, but in general. I think they might make it difficult for Brooklyn in the Eastern Conference Finals, in my opinion. Atlanta, New York. This is the final game. The story of the game really is Randall had an extremely bad game. I think one of the worst games in a good while, and he was completely invisible. And the Knicks still somehow almost won despite that. Smart basketball, Rose was phenomenal. Some nice flashes from Quickly. On the Atlanta side, you have to give obviously tons of credit to Young. He played amazingly, and Bogdanovich was also super sharp. New York had an extremely high rebounding edge. They had a 34% offensive rebounding rate against 17%, so double the offensive rebounding percentage. I mean, if they can sustain that, they will be fine. My first reaction after the game was that this will go 7. This series will go 7. I have no idea who will win, but I think we are in for a great series. And I'm looking forward for more strong games from Bogdanovich and Rose. And it was great seeing like Toppin with a few flashes and Quickly getting a few nice touches. Barrett played pretty nice. So yeah, if Randall gets his shit together, I think this will be an extremely close series. And looking forward for the rest of the games. But I don't really have a lean here. So yeah, that's it for NBA. I like Milwaukee and Portland for today. We are likely not going to talk any NBA today unless we have tomorrow, unless we have any major line moves. As I said, I agree with all the lines, and I think there is no real edge out there. So I might just link back for this NBA discussion for in tomorrow's podcast. So yeah, thanks for tuning in. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Good luck with your wagers. If you want to tell mine, I'm releasing everything super early. Discord members are getting nice lines. If you want to join, you can go to patreon.com/thebettors and join the channel. All right. I see you guys tomorrow at the same time. Thanks for tuning in. Peace out.